So today I wanted to welcome in studio my friend and working partner. We closed a really great deal together. So I feel bad calling you client, but you're a friend first and foremost. Miss Giovanna di Minno, welcome.
Thank you for having me here.
The pleasure's all mine. Listen, I think that your story is really important, and I think that our viewers, listeners, I think that they would benefit. You know, anyone wanting to get into the real estate business, like I believe it's important to hear other people's stories. So, but before we get into that, what is it that you do? What are you doing now?
So, I'm a hairstylist. I've been in the business for 26 years. I've been working in the same Salon Deauville, for 24 years.
Wow.
I feel old when I say that.
Aging ourselves.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
It's okay.
But, and I previously also for a few years, I did sell real estate, as you know. So I did it for about 6 years. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's it. So I'm a busy bee and I love what I do. And that's it.
Totally. Wow. Well, look, like it's so interesting being a hairstylist, I believe, because I mean the conversations you must have. You have different clients in your chair, and you're talking to them like you must like you're. Oh, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on. Like you're a great conversationalist. Do you find it interesting having and or even challenging having like conversations with clients all day?
It's definitely interesting. Let me tell you, it teaches me a lot. You know, everybody's so different. Everybody brings something different to the table. People come to see me to feel good, but in the end, I feel good too. You know, I'm helping someone feel their best. And, you know, yeah, conversations are, you know, flowing and.
Wow, that's crazy. And so like I'm sure you're crazy busy. Like I'm sure your chair is always full. But I wanted to ask you a little bit about like what do people ask for in terms of hairstyles? Like, what are the trends now?
So the trends for this year, there's a little bit of everything for everyone. So pixie cuts are coming back in, you know, if you're into the short thing. And then if you're into the medium thing, there's the textured bobs that's been in for quite a few years, but it's still going strong this year. And, you know, long hair, it's all about layers, face framing. It's, you know, so there's a little bit for everyone. And I love that because then, you know, there's a little bit of variety as opposed to some years, it's like one thing that's in, right? So I'm very happy this year because I get to work on like all types of different styles for people.
That's amazing. And now it's February. Are you starting to get calls already for the summer?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I forgot to mention before, I'm a bridal specialist. So
Bridal specialist, nice.
I do a lot of brides. I absolutely love it. I get to take part in, you know, for them, the most important day of their lives till that moment. And there's a lot of love in the air. And, you know, I get to see all this beauty all around me. So I love doing it. I love it.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thanks for coming, and I really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to me about your real estate journey. And so, just to give our listeners a little bit of background, I wanted to bring Giovanna on this podcast because I think that it's really important to share her journey and the client's journey from their point of view on some of the adventures that happen during a real estate transaction. I find it really interesting. So that's a bit about, you know, why you're here and why we're doing this. And I thank you for coming on and you know, sharing with this. So thanks. Welcome.
Thank you. So yeah, it was quite a roller coaster, rocky ride for us finding the right property to be in. And thank God you had our back.
It wasn't so straightforward, though.
It was definitely not so straightforward. So as you know, you were there.
Yeah, and you ended up in Lachine, right? and how's life in Lachine? Like, so let's go like now, like where you are, and we'll go back in time a little bit.
Sure. So yes, so now we're living in Lachine. We're settled there with my partner Frank and our son, and we absolutely love it. You know, we're so close to nature. We're close to the canal, yet we're only 15 minutes away from downtown. There's a great sense of family community in Lachine. Everybody's so nice. Everybody's so nice. You go to the
Totally.
grocery store, everybody's saying hi to you. It's just such a nice, warm vibe in Lachine, and there's like amazing parks everywhere. I just think it's a great area
I feel that
to
too.
raise
Yeah,
to raise a family.
100%. I feel that too. As you know, I've been in Lachine for the past 8 years, and you have a condo also in Lachine. So
Yes.
you were living in Lachine
So
before.
I was living before I met my partner. I was living in Lachine. I had bought myself a condo, which I now rent out. So I already knew about Lachine. But when we started looking,
Yeah.
right, we were not looking in Lachine because Frank, my partner, did not want to live there.
Oh man. Well, he's got a gym downtown.
That's right.
In Milan.
In Milan.
Right. So for him, Lachine is like the other part of the world.
That's right.
But it's funny how optics change when you have a serious significant other, and you have a child coming, or a child born even.
Yeah.
Like I think that it changes everything.
Our priorities change. Our needs change. Our regular daily life, what we do, how we live it, does change with a child 1,000%.
And you guys were focused on a duplex, and you had your heart set on a duplex, and I thought that was great. But like, tell our listeners a little bit about why a duplex. So you have this newborn baby, and you both have your own condos. But you made the decision to go with the duplex.
Yes, so we both had our own condos, and when we decided to get together and live together, we moved to Little Italy. We rented a place there, and then I got pregnant right away. So
Didn't waste any time.
didn't waste that. He locked me in right away. I got pregnant, and basically we wanted to upgrades. Our living situation, and we have to think about our future, think about our retirement. So I've always wanted a few properties under my name, and I got Frank into that too. So it's for our future, it's for our kid later on. We now own 2 properties, and the goal is to own a few more.
That's
so you'll have
great.
your work cut out for you, Blaine.
It was such a pleasure working with you guys. I found that both of you, from my perspective, you knew it's nice to, as much as we need to help our clients with what their needs and wants are, you guys came very prepared about what you wanted, and maybe that's helped because you used to be a broker, right?
Yes, so many, many years ago, I did sell real estate for a few years. And I stopped doing that. I'm also a hairstylist. I've been doing that for 26 years. And, 2 jobs was a bit too much for me. So I stuck to the hairdressing. But I've always loved real estate. And yeah, because of that, like I pretty much knew exactly what I wanted. But Frank and I, we're both headstrong. And we pretty much always know what we want. And we go for it. And you helped us to get there.
That's awesome. So when you got that listing, and now we're gonna go to Lachine, and now the finding the house. So, we ended up in Lachine. We know that, but okay. So how did you get there? Like, what was a bit of the journey like from your perspective?
Oh boy. Okay. So like I said, it was a rocky roller coaster. Like we didn't just magically end up in Lachine. So we were looking in other areas because, as I said before, Frank wasn't keen about being in Lachine. And we did find a property, as you know. And thank goodness that didn't go through. In fact, you helped us pull out of the deal the day before we were supposed to sign at the notary. And thank goodness for that. Thank goodness you had our backs, because that could have been potentially a terrible terrible thing.
I couldn't let you guys, go down with that, and without getting into too much detail, it was the wrong place for you, and we were all in agreement, and so, we walked away.
And we had just found out at the, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty, but we had all just found out at the end, all these surprises came out.
Exactly.
And when these surprises came out at the end, you advised us well, and thank goodness we didn't end up signing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're so much happier now.
Oh my gosh. And then after that, we were like, we had to find a place. We had to move out of our place in Little Italy, and from Little Italy. And we found a temporary place in Lachine. And, I told Frank, let's just try it in Lachine. We'll rent. If you don't like it, we can move somewhere else. But just like you knew and I knew, he fell in love with it. He fell in love with Lachine. And then you ended up sending us that amazing listing that we now live in.
That's what a great property you have. Like what about when you received the listing, what about that listing made you want to visit? Because you guys visited right away. I remember I couldn't visit that day and I ended up rushing to the listing. You guys had just left because you guys had a prior engagement afterwards, and you said, Blaine, we want a second visit, and we think we want to go. Like,
Yeah.
what about that house?
Yeah, it was right away. So the listing came on the market. You sent it to us. I knew as soon as I saw the pictures, I had a feeling. Okay, I had a feeling. I thought I would really love the space just looking at the photos. And then we walked in. Frank and I look at each other, and like, I mean, he knows all my facial expressions, right? And he knew, and I knew. I'm like, yes, this is it. This is the place. So we walked around, and then as soon as we left, called you and said, okay, we want this place.
It had such a great vibe, and
Great vibe,
and it
yeah.
really it had the space, the size of the rooms, the backyard, like all of that. I think the feeling was mutual. We
Yeah.
we both felt like it was
Yeah.
going to be the place for you.
Yeah, and it's an old home. The home was built in 1920, but it was a little bit renovated over the years. We recently just renovated the kitchen, the bathroom, we painted, but the old moldings and the high ceilings, it's just like a little bit of the old, and then we brought some of the new, and it's just I love our home. I absolutely love our home. But yeah, it was what a roller coaster to get there.
What a roller coaster. And
Yeah.
you know what? Things happen for a reason. And everyone has their journey to happiness, and I'm happy that you found it. You found it, and I was able to help you in that sense. I do have to say that I wanted to give you props on this, because when we went to your house for your son's first birthday a couple of months ago, actually a couple weeks ago now, I think.
Yeah,
it was a couple weeks ago.
A month ago.
A month
Yeah.
ago, yeah. The renovations you did were like spectacular. Like you have a great eye, and I
Thank
know
you.
Frank, and I know it wasn't Frank doing that. It wasn't Frank.
You said it, not me.
So I gotta give you props on that. That's a great job. So
Thank
what
you.
did you do for renovations?
So we almost fully renovated the kitchen. We did keep the cupboards because they were in great condition, but everything else is redone. We got a new island. There was all the moldings were dark brown, so we ended up painting everything in white. We completely gutted and redid the bathroom. It's absolutely gorgeous, but of course we kept, the cachet. We kept the brick wall, and it's just stunning. We completely redid the entrance. You know me, I love black and white, so our entrance is all in black and white. So, we upgraded it, but we still kept a lot of the feeling that, a 1920 house with the old cachet, like I said, the brick wall, the moldings, the big French doors. Like we kept a little bit of the old and brought in some new. And I think it's a beautiful upgrade. And, I don't know if we're going to live there forever. Right now in my head, I want to live there forever, obviously. But like I said, we do want to buy more properties. But whether we live there forever or we end up renting it out to somebody else, I can't imagine people not being happy there. It's such a warm house. And yeah, we worked with an incredible contractor. The company is called Monarch Construction.
Monarch Construction.
And
Okay.
he was amazing.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
It's not easy to find contractors you can trust, because you really need to have a referral of someone that you trust sends you the contractor that they trust. It has to go that way, because if you're just getting quotes from people you don't know,
Exactly.
you're just getting quotes. So what? Let's say you get 3 quotes.
How do you choose?
Yeah.
Like,
How do you choose?
Yeah.
You're choosing what the
cost?
the cost,
Yeah.
because that would be the worst thing to do if you want a quality job done.
Absolutely.
So I don't. Anyway, so I'm happy that you found this.
Yeah.
And it must have been a relief to be able to find someone, have it done on budget, on time, and look the way it does, the quality work.
Yeah, it really was. So it was actually my brother who referred me to this contractor, and there's no one pickier than my brother. I say that with all the love. So I know that if he says that he's going to get the job done properly, I can trust that. So throughout the whole process, I was never stressed. And, you know, I'm a new mom, new-ish mom, you know, and with the baby and everything, people were like, oh my God, you're going to like live in the basement. You're going to get the upstairs renovated. It's going to be so stressful. They never finish on time, the contractors. But, you know, we had such a positive mindset. And after everything that we had gone through, we were just so happy to be there in that property. And I had trust in this contractor and in my brother's words telling me that this guy would get the job done. And everything was done amazing. So if anybody needs a contractor, I have the team for you. I really do.
That's a good plug.
Yeah.
But also, like, you needed to have the budget. So for like we discussed before purchasing the place, before going into negotiations, that, you know, we needed to buy at this price in order for you to have your budget. So that was good, where we were able to, you know, the everything with the tenant worked out upstairs. We were able to you know, because that's also a challenge for when you're buying investment properties is you know, what do you do with the renters upstairs? There's rules in place, so we were able to work out with the tenants, with the sellers, the perfect situation where we were able to keep the tenants, and they agreed to the right terms, and then the negotiation of the building, we fell in that sweet spot where you had the budget to do your renovations.
Exactly. So you worked really hard on the negotiations for us, and we ended up getting like the price that we thought was fair for the property. And because of that, we were able to get the rentals that we wanted done. We got really lucky.
What a success story. I'm so happy.
I'm so happy too. I'm so happy.
So I look forward to the next venture. You know where I am.
Yes. Yeah. We want a few more addresses under our name.
Absolutely. And I think you're the perfect client. You have that perfect dynamic with your partner, Frank, to be landlords, because it's not in it for everyone. Landlords and owners of different properties, and if that's a direction you want to go, that look, I fully support that, and we're gonna kill it together. I'm sure.
Oh yes.
So thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me here.
Anytime, come back. The door's always open.
Thank you.